Before the sun rises above the Nile, Cairo is already awake. Footsteps echo through narrow streets as wooden doors open one by one. Oil lamps flicker in shop fronts. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the air. From the minarets, the call to prayer spreads across the city, rolling over rooftops, markets, and homes. This is not the Cairo of cars and concrete. This is medieval Cairo, one of the largest, richest, and most complex cities on earth. A city of traders and scholars, of craftsmen and laborers, of families whose lives followed rhythms shaped by faith, work, and survival. Today, we are not following sultans or generals. Today, we are living one ordinary day as the people of medieval Cairo lived it. Cairo, as we know it in the medieval world, was founded in the 10th century under the Fatimid Caliphate. But it did not remain the same city for long. Over the centuries, it passed through different rulers, the Fatimids, the Ayyubids, and later the Mamluks, each leaving their mark. By the 13th and 14th centuries, Cairo had become one of the greatest cities on the planet. Some estimates place its population at hundreds of thousands, possibly over 500,000 people. At a time when most European cities were small and limited, Cairo was vast, crowded, and alive. Its location made it powerful. The Nile was its lifeline, providing food, transportation, and trade. Caravans arrived from Africa carrying gold and ivory. Ships brought spices from India and Southeast Asia. European merchants came for textiles, sugar, and luxury goods. But medieval Cairo was not just a global trading hub. It was a city of neighborhoods. Each area had its own mosque, bakery, market, and workshops. Most people lived and worked within walking distance of their homes. To understand medieval Cairo, you must look beyond its wealth and rulers and step into the daily lives of its people. Society in medieval Cairo was hierarchical, but deeply interconnected. At the top were wealthy merchants, landowners, and officials. These families controlled trade networks and owned large homes, often built around private courtyards. They employed servants and apprentices and lived lives of relative comfort. Below them were the artisans and craftsmen, the backbone of the city. Weavers, metal workers, carpenters, potters, leather tanners. Their workshops filled the streets with the sound of hammers, looms, and saws. Their work supplied not only Cairo, but distant markets across the Islamic world and beyond. Scholars and students formed another respected group. Cairo was a major center of learning. Mosques and madrasas hosted lectures in law, theology, mathematics, medicine, and philosophy. Knowledge was not hidden, it was spoken aloud, debated, and passed down through generations. At the bottom were laborers, porters, and servants. They carried goods through crowded streets, unloaded ships along the Nile, cleaned homes, fetched water, and performed the hardest physical work. Their lives were unstable, dependent on daily wages. Women existed in every level of society. While public life was dominated by men, women managed households, worked in markets, owned property, and conducted business. Many controlled their own wealth through inheritance or trade. Medieval Cairo was unequal, but it was dynamic. Everyone had a role, and every role kept the city alive. The day begins early. Before sunrise, families wake. Prayer comes first, setting the rhythm for the day. Breakfast is simple flatbread, dates, perhaps cheese or honey for those who can afford it. As daylight spreads, the streets come alive. Bakers pull loaves from hot ovens. Water carriers move through neighborhoods, selling clean water drawn from the Nile. Donkeys and carts navigate narrow alleys. Shopkeepers unlock their doors. Craftsmen prepare tools. Merchants arrange goods. Children are sent to learn trades or attend basic religious lessons. By mid-morning, Cairo is loud. Markets overflow with voices and movement. Spices, textiles, metal goods, fruit, and meat are bought and sold. Prices are debated loudly. Every purchase is a negotiation. Workshops operate nonstop. Scribes copy manuscripts by hand, tailors stitch clothing. Metalworkers shape tools and weapons. Mosques fill again at midday for prayer. Scholars sit surrounded by students, teaching through discussion rather than silence. Learning is public, spoken, and shared. Meals are modest, bread and vegetables are common. Stews simmer slowly. Meat is rare for most people and considered a luxury. Privacy is limited. Life happens in the open-end streets, courtyards, and markets. The city never truly rests. As the sun begins to set, activity slows. Shops close their wooden doors. Families return home. Evening meals are shared together. Stories are told. Poetry is recited. News spreads by word of mouth. Entertainment does not require theaters or screens. Storytellers draw crowds. Musicians perform in courtyards and celebrations. City gates close for the night. Darkness changes everything. Oil lamps light homes, but streets grow quiet. Travel becomes dangerous. Crime is more likely under cover of night. Another ordinary day in medieval Cairo comes to an end. Religion shapes every part of life. Prayer divides the day. Islamic law influences trade, marriage, inheritance, and justice. Mosques are not only places of worship, but centers of education and community life. Education is respected. Many children learn to read and write. Advanced students travel long distances to study under famous scholars. Knowledge is considered a form of wealth. Books are precious. Manuscripts are copied by hand and carefully preserved. Libraries exist, but access is limited to scholars and institutions. Culture is vibrant. Music, poetry, and storytelling flourish. Cairo is not a silent or rigid city. It is expressive, intellectual, and deeply human. But life here is not easy. Disease spreads quickly in crowded neighborhoods. Medical knowledge exists, but epidemics return again and again. Plagues can wipe out entire communities. Fire is a constant danger. Buildings are close together. One spark can destroy a whole street. Crime exists. Justice is public and often harsh. Punishments are meant to be seen to warn others. Poverty is widespread. Many families live day to day, dependent on daily work and charity. One missed opportunity can mean hunger. Behind Cairo's wealth and learning is constant uncertainty. Survival is never guaranteed. Medieval Cairo no longer exists, but its echoes remain. In the shape of its streets, in mosques that still stand, in traditions passed down through centuries. The people who lived here were not legends. They were workers, parents, students, and dreamers trying to survive, believe, and belong. History is not only written by rulers. It is lived by ordinary people, and this was one of them.